I'm Katie and welcome to Sugo Gaming Weekly News, where we bring you all of the Korean gaming news straight from South Korea. We've had updates and launches from Elyon and MapleStory, but before we dive into those, let's take a look back at the industry news from the Korean scene last week. Pixel's Gran Saga finally saw its launch on January 26th, and the mobile and PC MMORPG certainly made a splash, with some impressive pre-order numbers and chart rankings on its debut. Hype for Gran Saga has been building for a while, and with a reported over 5 million pre-registrations, it came as no surprise that the game hit the top of the Play Store and App Store's popularity charts within hours of its release. Gran Saga features crossplay between both mobile and PC, with an anime-inspired art style and fast-paced combat driven by the Gran weapon system. And Pixel has long promised a focused effort on storytelling, with a diverse cast and intricate narrative. If you're in Korea, Gran Saga is available to download on both the App Store and Google Play. Westerners will have to hold on a little longer, as Pixel has stated they hope to release it globally by 2022. In true better late than never news, Uncharted Waters Origin has finally entered its closed beta phase, despite already missing out on its intended launch window due to COVID-19. Uncharted Waters Origin is an online multiplayer by Korean developers Motive, presenting a new story set in a world of Koei Tecmo's Uncharted Waters franchise. It was touted as a huge adventure with over 1,000 NPCs for the player to meet and over 200 ports to sail into. The project was first announced back in 2018 and was intended to be released in 2020 to celebrate the series' 30th anniversary. However, due to the very common COVID-19 complications, the game's launch was delayed and the project looked uncertain. However, there is some good news on the horizon, as it was confirmed last week that the game had finally entered its closed beta stage in Korea. In an interview with Motive, the developers stated that the game should accommodate both new and returning players and allow them to experience the world as an adventurer, explorer, pirate, or merchant. While a launch date is still unknown, it's good to see the game is still afloat, and we'll keep you posted on any updates. The Korean developers behind global smash MMORPG Black Desert Online announced back in December that they were planning to take the Western publishing rights from Kakao Games, and the time has finally come for Pearl Abyss to reclaim the reins as they plan to unify BDO's publishing later this month. The Western publishing rights for Black Desert Online were previously handled by Kakao Games since its debut, and while the game has certainly seen a lot of success, it hasn't always been the smoothest of sailings. General player base feedback leans a little more critically on Kakao's tenure, claiming the game has progressively become more pay-to-win as time has passed. But now there's potential for a new direction, as Pearl Abyss will take on publishing duties in North America and Europe from February 24th. And if you're currently playing BDO, be sure to opt into the account transfer registration. You have until June 1st to transfer your account data to the new Pearl Abyss service before the data from Kakao is permanently deleted. In updates and releases this week, MMORPG Elyon has recently unveiled their newest class, the Slayer. The new class is your usual Berserker Barbarian fare, wielding a giant sword with increased damage in Berserk mode. The Slayer arrives in Korean servers on February 3rd. The MapleStory Neo update has reached its third installment and final conclusion with the Hotel Arcs patch, with a new area and brand new boss. The new content dropped domestically on January 28. And Blast is back, this time in mobile form, as Joy City takes another swing at the OG PC MMORPG that shut down back in 2019. The game dropped globally last week and is available now on the Apple Store and Google Play.
Hey, I'm Naomi and welcome to Nerf This, your weekly one-stop roundup of the Korean Tier 2 Overwatch scene. With the first month of the year coming to a close, it seems we are approaching the final stretch of the roster rebuilding, with the team's announcements maybe just about finished trickling in. But with the return of a very fond and familiar face, it does seem that they may have saved the best for last. O2 may have finished putting together their main roster for the year, but like all wise orgs, they have one eye on the now and another on the later. O2 announced on Twitter that they've picked up 2 new trainee DPS players, Jester and Probe. The team's brand new rookie tank Max was initially signed to the org as a trainee, so it may only be a matter of time before Jester or Probe get the call up. O2 has always played an intriguing mix of rookies and vets, so it'll certainly be interesting to see how they fare this year. It certainly didn't take Coach Son long to find a new home after news that he left his former team Talon last week. He's become the latest addition to join Team BM's new 2021 roster. A new challenger approaches. It's always fun when a new team takes on the Korean Tier 2 scene, and this year that team will be Team CC. Yeah, that Team CC, Shanghai Dragons Contenders team and the reigning Gauntlet champions of the Asia region. Head coach No-Hill announced on Twitter that they'd be saying peace out to Contenders China and heading to compete in the Korean tournament this year. There's also a Leech roster floating around, with previous CC players Spectra and Innovation being joined by former Owl players like Wuhyal and Lastro. Of course, this hasn't been confirmed yet, but we'll be sure to keep you updated on any official announcements from our new contenders. And it seems Team Diamond has finally found their gems for the new year, as they took to Twitter to announce their brand new roster. The finished lineup is an interesting mix of well-seasoned Tier 2 names and new pickups from their open tryouts. On tank, they have Inhyuk and Silvercoin, a line that has been around the scene since 2018, with experience under X6, Meta Athena, and Geekstar, to name a few. Their support line consists of a similarly seasoned Ligo and former Gen G player, Quasid. Conversely, their DPS duo of Becky and Gurio are newcomers. But perhaps the most exciting part of Team Diamond's announcement is their new coaching lineup, with head coach Fickle alongside everyone's favourite gift to the rap world, Winston legend Miro, as sub-coach. Miro had come out of retirement recently and expressed interest in returning to the game in some form, so it's great to see him back in the scene.
That's it for today. Are you currently in South Korea and have checked out Gran Saga already? Or are you playing any other Korean games? Let us know in the comments below what you're currently playing or recommend us any good games. Also, don't forget to hit the like button and the subscribe button to never miss out on any of our new videos. And see you next week. Bye bye!